BMW blue and white. 184 miles per hour.
Joe Wrench is here with Xona Rotor. I got Ben Stoner from Fathouse Fabrications here with me. He's going to talk a little bit about his 1400R, 1200R, 1000R, 800R packages and why he uses Xona Rotor turbos. So Ben, tell me about the turbo you're using on this 1400R.
Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up, guys? We're using a 62 millimeter turbo compressor wheel with a 68 millimeter turbine wheel from Xona. This turbo has the X2C compressor cover, which is the small 2-inch outlet, 3-inch inlet, or actually it's a little bit bigger than 3-inch inlet because it is a surge port cover. And then we have the regular T3 style V-band from Tile. It's the 082 housing. These turbos are what we use on all of our packages up to the 1400R. The 1400R, which is right here, has the little bit larger turbine housing on it, but the wheels are the same. We're able to make almost 1,500 wheel horsepower with those small turbos, which is just amazing. If you see these things, they look like turbos that would come on a little 4-cylinder stock car, which is great because we can package these turbos really tight areas, not have to modify the car. We're able to run piping, keep it up out of the lower part of the car, tuck it up in the subframe. So packaging wise, it's been really great for us. Robert and the guys over at Xona have put together a specific turbo just for us too. So we were able to work with them on that, which is really nice as well.
Great, that's awesome, Ben. So how has the reliability been on the Xona turbos?
The reliability's been great. We have started this process with another turbo manufacturer. We had issues with turbo smoking, reliability, turbos need to be rebuilt. Turbos make good power, but we can't have stuff like that happening with our customers. We worked with Robert over a few months to develop the right turbo spec, and we have not had a bit of problem out of them. I believe this is our 8th build, and we have not had a single problem out of any of the turbos, so we're real happy with that.
That's great. And working with Robert, how has that been?
Robert's a super cool dude. I've known Robert for a long time, and he will geek out on turbo specs with you any day of the week over a beer and tell you more than you ever wanted to know about turbos. So if you have a question about turbos, Robert is the man.
Excellent. That's great, Ben. So what are you expecting for performance out of this car in the half mile today?
So we came down with, this is the first event with the car, first full event with the car, and we came down with a goal to go 190 plus. We haven't made a full pass yet. We're about to do that. So we think it'll go 190 plus, and if we get lucky, we might see 200.
Excellent. Very good, Ben. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thanks. Good luck today.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right. We'll see you later.
Clocking in at 187 miles per hour.
Joe Wrench is here for Xona Rotor. I'm with Corbin Johnson of Johnson Tuning. He's responsible for tuning the Motec system on the Fathouse Fabrications GT350 1400R package. He's looking at a lot of data there, and we're going to see, Corbin, what can you tell us about the Xona Rotor turbochargers and how they behave on this setup?
Yeah, so we've ran a few different turbos in the past, trying to find really the best performing and the highest quality turbos. And then we found Xona Rotor that really came together with a custom turbo package that fits our needs. Obviously, the cars don't have much room for packaging, so it makes it very difficult to put turbos on a car that obviously does not come factory turbo. So Robert from Force Performance Xona Rotor put together a custom turbo for us that uses a smaller compressor cover, but still utilizes a 62 millimeter compressor wheel and a 68 X2 on the turbine. These turbos, obviously, when you look at them, they don't look like a large turbo, but we are putting down almost 1,500 wheel horsepower with the turbos, nearly maxed out. But it's very impressive because we're getting great response out of the turbos still. We don't sacrifice much low end at all with this kind of performance. So we've been extremely happy with them so far. Yeah.
Excellent. That's great. So how much boost do you run on this setup?
So this is the 1400R package. The nice thing about these turbo kits is that they utilize the same turbos no matter if you have the entry-level 800R package all the way up to the 1400R. So these all use the same turbos, and it's basically just adding parts and obviously turning up the boost beyond that. So that's what makes it really nice to where, if you want to start off with the 800R and then you want more power, we can obviously add parts to turn it into 1000, 1200, or 1400R. This car is running a little over 27 pounds of boost max. We are sort of at the limit of the compressor cover. We have measured the actual compressor outlet temperature on some of the 1200R builds, as well as on this car we're measuring back pressure, which, even at the 1500 horsepower level, the back pressure is only 1.25 to 1 ratio, which is extremely good for this size of a turbo on this engine, especially revving to almost 9,000 RPM. So on the 1200R cars, we run the 0.82 tile exhaust housing, and the back pressure on those at 1300 wheel horsepower was a little bit higher than what we actually are at now. So what we did was we went to the 103 tile housing, and then we dumped the wastegates instead of recirculating them, just to get the most to help out the package as much as we could. This is the first 1400R and really pushing the limits of what the turbos can do. So it was nice to see that we actually dropped back pressure all the way up to the 1300 horsepower range. We're still at a 1-to-1, which is great because obviously, at a 1-to-1, it's going to maintain that, 100 horsepower per liter per atmosphere. So these cars make 100 horsepower per liter stock, about 520 horsepower. And obviously, as long as we can maintain that 1-to-1, as we're adding boost, it's going to maintain that 1-to-1 ratio. So obviously with 14.5 pounds of boost, it's going to make 1,040 horsepower roughly. So, but now we are getting, towards the limits of the turbos, and, Xona's going to help us out with the next step. So maybe a 1600R. So.
Great, Corbin. Thank you. I look forward for that in the future.
Yeah, thanks.
GT350 tearing through the gears. Miles per hour.
What's up, Joe?
What do you got there in your hand, Ben Stoner?
We have the fastest GT350 half-mile pass in the world and first place in the man pedal class.
Nice.
Joe, my man right here, went 193.
Yep. Killer, guys.
Yep.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
Super pumped about that. Hell yeah,
we
man.
still got a bunch left, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yep. So we were in Alabama. I had these pants on just like this.